5th time I've tried to record this episode of Love Me Long Time. Today I'm inside the house, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, it's nearly 40 degrees outside. Ridiculous. The cats, I'm in the lounge, they're driving me potty. Gary. So, got my dates all mixed up in the last episode, as I do. Gary was 40 when I met him, and that was back in 1999. Solomon was on his first trip to Thailand. He met Gary playing pool in a bar just along the beach. And both were staying at the Dusit Resort. Gary's now 60. We've stayed in touch over all the years. And he's even been to visit us in the UK. He's coming here in a few months to say hi. So I know his story pretty well. But over 20 years, there's a lot we just don't want to cover on a love story. All we want to know is the nitty-gritty, twists and turns. What's it like being a billionaire and trying to find a wife, a mother of his future children that can take on his empire? Gary lost his family at a young age, about 25 when he lost them. He has the empire, it all runs itself, he's earning silly money every day. It's ridiculous, it's obscene amount of money. But because of that, the way he's been brought up, his lifestyle, it's hard for somebody like that to fit in what I would call the normal world. He has been brought up to travel first class. Everything done for him. Wherever he goes, whatever he does, he buys it. Because that's the way he's been brought up. But he's quite a down-to-earth guy in some ways. He's not, as I said before, he's not flash with his money, although he looks expensive just looking at him. He stands out a mile by his clothes and just the way he is. He's 300 pounds, he's quite, you know, medium build, he's 6 foot plus, he's a big guy, but you can tell money's dripping off him just because of his clothes and the way he smells and everything. So every girl in Asia that is looking for a potential partner, he's going to be a number 10, top of the list. Back when I first met him, I didn't know anything about Thailand, hardly anything at all. And for a couple of years, well, then I got the bar job and I learnt a lot within those first few years. He did come to my bar one day and in those couple of years, and we caught up. But all he was succeeding in doing was bouncing from one Thai aerobics instructor tour guide to another. He was just going from bar to go-go bar in all the entertainment zones of Thailand. Now going forward, maybe 4 years, 2005, something like that, we caught up and he came to see me in England, met the other half, saw what our life was, and he told me about everything that had been happening for those few years. And he kept repeating himself over and over again that he was looking for the 25-year-old stunning Thai woman who had no family, never had children, who wanted to go and live with a 300-pound guy who's 6 foot plus on a ranch in hot Texas and be treated like a queen and have children, and that's the sole purpose, to take care of him and have his children. Now, to me, he's trying to buy a woman, and I did a video recently about this. Even back then I said to him, it's not going to happen, you're not going to be happy. it's not going to work. You're going to find a girl, have the kids, and she's going to leave you because she won't like the lifestyle. Ideally, you need to get yourself a base in Thailand instead of just wandering around bar to bar. You need a home over in Thailand, and you need to be able to give that person more of a life. And he sort of hadn't thought of that. He said, well, I thought I was just going to spend all my days in Texas, have the wife and the kids, and I said to him, but that, surely that's going to be boring because you don't work, you just, other people look after your companies. And that's just not much of a life. With all the, you know, with your finances, you can do anything you want. Surely it's better to be, travel a bit and enjoy life. And he hadn't really enjoyed his life because he'd had all that silver spoon given to him and all the money. All he'd done is travel, pay for whatever he wanted, when he wanted, and got his own ways. It really wasn't much of a life. And he had just, at that time in 2005, discovered Phuket, which was more of an upper class resort. It can be, you know, it's also a normal resort, but you can get slightly better hotels there, maybe slightly better ladies, partners. The beaches are there, are nice. There's more to see around there. And he discovered Phuket and enjoyed it and loved it. And I said to him, it's a gorgeous part of the, you know, the world. Why don't you get somewhere there and buy somewhere? To you, it's like you could, on one day's salary, he could have bought a nice condo. So money was absolutely no object. And I said, if you based yourself there, rather than staying in all these hotels, you'd get a bit more of a normal life, and maybe you could dress down. And I kept saying to him, if you find the right girl, at that time I didn't really know about the real Thailand. I was just learning about it all, and didn't know that there was so many normal people here in Thailand that would have made great potential wives for him, but not what he was looking for. A 25-year-old dolly girl that's no kids and no family. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, we had a great old chat when he visited, and the next year, 2006, he kept same story, this time in Phuket. Girls, different bars. He must have done every bar in Phuket, surely. Then he was back to Bangkok, and he started trying the dating agencies, the introduction agencies, the apps. He was quite savvy on the computer. Apps were just about there, they were just starting to pop up. 2007, 2008, he was still doing the same. 2009, 2010, time was ticking over. He was now 50. Still no girlfriend. And he'd never spent more than 24 hours, maybe 36 hours with one girl. We talked again, and other people I knew had also talked to him. And he was becoming disillusioned with Thailand. Well, no wonder, just doing that all the time. Wasn't going to happen that way. He had a quick spell in Europe. He even dated a few Thai girls off agencies in Texas or in America, and didn't work. And he seemed to come to that crossroads in round about 2010. He'd come to the crossroads, and we spoke quite a lot at that time. And he spent 10 years looking for one woman. Ridiculous amount of money he'd spent. And he was always paying 2-3 times the price, whatever a woman was asking for the tour experience. So he's pretty much known, I would imagine. Thailand's a very small place. If you only live in the entertainment zones, and that's all you travel around, you get known. Bongo drums. So girls were beginning to get to know him, you know, in certain bars and go-go bars. He decided to take the plunge. 2011. He bought a condo in Phuket, in Patong, and that's back then in 2011, the 5 million baht he paid, which was what, 125,000. Back then it was probably £100,000, $120,000. It was not a lot of money. It was nothing for him, absolutely nothing. It was like 2.5 days salary. He bought a condo in Patong, 5 million baht, and it was a luxury one. It was a lovely one. I think it was 3-bedroom, had a pool, and it was only about 10 condos in the complex. Security, had everything. And he spent another I think I got it right, he spent another 2-3 million just kitting it out with everything. Mad, mad. And still to this day he has that condo. Yes. So yeah, 2011 he decided to spend a bit more time in Thailand, as if he hadn't spent enough. And he came across to Thailand, stayed for 3 months at a time. This time, instead of searching for that woman, we'd all told him he would have to go for an older lady. He was 50 years old, 51. He'd be better looking for a 30, 32, 33-year-old woman. There's a chance he'd find one that hadn't had kids and maybe didn't have a huge family. We were all starting to learn about the families in Thailand and the culture and looking after the family, and he was learning this as well. We were, quite a few of us, all chatting and figuring out what was what, and I was going through it with my partner. He kept saying he didn't really want to have a girlfriend, future wife, mother of his kids, with a external, with a family. But having a base in Thailand, he could, as long as she, in his words, produced a kid or two, a couple of children, he wouldn't mind if she came and stayed in the condo and saw a family. So he said, okay, I'm going to have to accept that. He started moving the goalposts, which was great. And he began to understand that a Thai partner would want to come back to Thailand, and that maybe his life, when he finds Mrs. Right, would actually include travelling and not just staying in Texas, locking him and his missus and kids in the ranch and being miserable for the rest of his days. So he started realising there was more to life. Well, this was the time when he started getting realistic. He also, because everyone in the area started to know him, to see him come down the road, his clothes stood out a mile. All the girls started to know him, and he started to get to know some of the girls. He started spending time outside of the bars, eating things like street food, which he never did before. He would only go to 5-star restaurants. He started exploring Phuket. Admittedly, it was an entertainment area, but he started exploring Phuket properly. He started exploring the island and around that area, and started spending time on the streets, still in his clothes, designer clothes, eating street food. And at this point, by coming outside of the bars into a sort of real Thailand, he began to meet some ordinary girls that weren't working in bars. He was sat down, from what he said, actually at Karen Beach, just along the road a bit, out on a road, eating, as he called it, street food, noodle food, noodle food. And a girl on the table next to him started talking to him. She was trying to get the ages. She must have been 30. she had her own shop. I don't know, I can't remember what he told me. I don't think it was a coffee shop, but it was maybe it was an upmarket shop in Karen Beach. Maybe it was selling fashion or something, but she had her own little boutique in a small little marketplace. So it wasn't a big shop front, it was more of a market, half market stall shop. So it was a shop with no front sort of thing, an open shop, but she had her own little boutique. And this girl was called B. Oh, let's leave it there. Gary meets B. I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.